Welcome to On the Spot, the show where we put businesses on the spot.
Welcome to On the Spot. I'm Barry. In this show, we talk to business owners, and On the Spot is all about not just Toowoomba businesses, but primarily Toowoomba businesses. We also interview business owners from lots of other places, including international businesses. And last year, this station, PTV Channel O, which at that time was Power TV Australia, became involved with the Darling Downs Bush Bash. We're involved with them again this year, and my guest today is the competition coordinator for the DDBBL. We have our guest standing by now, Kent Reimers. Welcome to the show, Kent.
Hi, Barry. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Kent, to start with, tell us a little bit about Murdoch Lawyers. Who are Murdoch Lawyers? How did they get involved in the DDBBL?
Murdoch Lawyers, they're a firm here in Toowoomba and Brisbane. I've played at the same club as Andrew Crook, who's one of the partners in the business. We originally talked to him around team ownership or a few other options, and in the end they decided to go as naming rights sponsors, and they've been fantastic to us and fantastic to the competition. Okay.
And why has Murdoch particularly gotten involved in this?
They have a rich cricketing background. A lot of their guys, so Andrew Crook, who I said before, but Justin Shine also played cricket in Toowoomba for a long time. And I think they also wanted to put their brand out there in the sporting community, and saw the DDBBL as something a little bit different, something that might project their name a little more often than just sponsoring your average team or competition in Toowoomba does. And hopefully we've delivered on that promise to them and given them some good exposure.
Yes. Who do you work for?
I work for Nestle, territory sales manager for Nestle, but I obviously spend a lot of time working on this cricket competition.
Okay. And how long have you worked for Nestle?
Around about 7 years.
Okay.
I stepped out of, I was working for Myer as an assistant store manager, and stepped out of that into a territory manager's role and getting out and about the countryside.
Yeah, so what does a territory manager do?
So I look after anyone that deals with Nestle confectionery, basically. So service stations, corner stores, your IGAs and food works. I'm in there, obviously trying to get more of our brand in there, but also to support the business owners and try and assist them to make some more money by selling Nestle products effectively and creatively.
Okay. And 7 years you said you've been with them?
That's right.
Okay. All right. And it's something you enjoy doing, I guess?
Oh, mate, look, I spend a lot of time in retail, being in the same spot all the time. My territory stretches from Brisbane out to Miles and Roma, up to Kingaroy, down to Tenterfield. It's a pretty big area, and you get to see some beautiful countryside, and you never feel as though you're in the same spot every day. It's always an adventure.
Yeah, yeah. And what did you do before you were, if you've been there 7 years, what did you do before that?
Before that, I was at Myer I started as the electrical and furniture manager, but also operations manager and assistant store manager. Before that, I've worked in furniture stores and managed furniture stores, and even played some professional cricket in England.
Yeah, I noticed on the notes that I've got here that you've played in Bangladesh, or you played against Bangladesh. You've played some cricket in England. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so first time over there was 1999. I was only a young fella, but that was 1999 was the World Cup in England for one-day cricket, and the county that I was involved with ended up playing some lead-up matches against Bangladesh, which was pretty inspiring. I got the guy that carried the flag for Bangladesh at the Commonwealth Games. I got him out both days, so my claim to fame is Akram Khan, which is a great cricketing name, combines two great cricketing names. So I got Akram Khan out both days.
All right. Okay. Oh, well, you have a little cricket prowess feather that you can put in your cap, huh?
Oh, a long time ago, but yes, mate, it was good.
Okay. Terrific. And you're still playing cricket?
No, mate. I've gone into obviously the administration side, which is how we've met each other, and I do a lot of coaching at the moment too. No more playing for me.
No. Okay. Now, and as we were saying earlier, you're the coordinator of the Darling Downs Bush Bash, correct?
Yeah, so myself and Tony Anderson started the DDBBL. This season, part of our progression planning was to bring another guy through, Clayton Faulknell, who's the technology man and knows all that side of it, whereas Tony and I claim to be the faces, which is debatable. But, so in conjunction with those two guys, we run the competition.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about the competition while we're on that subject. How does it run? When does it run? What happens? I know I've interviewed you previously about it, but for anybody who hasn't seen that, let's just fill them in a bit.
Okay, so the Murdoch Lawyers DDBBL is a 6-team corporate cricket competition. The reason we started it was T20 cricket in Toowoomba was not doing well. We had some very fine players, but when they were playing it, there always seemed to be weather issues and things like that. Participation rates weren't great. So we identified a need to do something different with T20 cricket in Toowoomba. It was always traditionally club-based, and we've taken it with permission of the TCI, Toowoomba Cricket Incorporated. We've taken it and sold six franchises to team owners and done it a little bit different. All the players nominate for the competition, so they're not part of a team first and foremost. They have to get selected and get drafted. And Barry, I think you'll agree that draft night last year was a good combination, good fun and bedlam.
Yeah, yes, it was a good night, wasn't it? And I think probably because it was the first one, I think there was a little bit of confusion around some things as well, but that all added to the fun of it. Now there's another draft this year, correct? And it's this month.
The captain's draft is this month, so that's where the 6 teams will select their captains. Then the following month in August, we have the full players draft, right, which is the big one, and then the competition starts 13th of September and runs through till late October.
Right. And now you said these are corporate franchises. Who are the teams?
Okay. So we've got 4 teams from last year that have stayed on. We've got the Valley Raptors, which is Lockyer Valley Toyota and, Pollock Farms from down there. Adacare Aztecs, which are obviously owned by Adacare. Live Wide Lightning, last year's premiers, owned by Grant Spees and Nick Payne from Live Wide Electrical.
Pocket Rockets?
Pocket Rockets, Graham Strang. So Graham was the last team to jump on board last year. He saw the concept and got really excited by it. So they're the 4 that are coming back. And this year we've got 2 new teams.
Yep.
The Rob Scan Knight Riders from Roberts and Scannell Accountants and the Grammar Blazers, obviously from Toowoomba Grammar School.
Right. Okay. Now, Kent, I think that we might take a break there, and when we come back, I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the other information that I've got here about you. So we'll go to a break now, and we'll see you again after the break.
Hi, this is Sarah and Bron staying cool at Hip Pocket Toowoomba.
Lightweight cotton work shirts in a huge range of colours.
Shorts, water bottles, sunscreen.
Come in and see us 6 days, or we are happy to post to you.
At Hip Pocket, we rock it.
If you've lost your income or had a change of earning capacity through no fault of your own and are struggling with debt that you can no longer handle, you probably feel a bit like this ant. If the struggle is getting you down and you feel overwhelmed, there is an answer. Central Liaison has helped thousands of people break free of the debt struggle by handling their debt for them. Freeze all interest, stop the harassing calls from the bank and start enjoying life again. Call them today on 0409 344 070 for a confidential, obligation-free chat about how Central Liaison can help you take your life back. The number again, 0409 344 070. Call them now.
Power FM is total entertainment. From the morning drive with Fiona and Jeff to the drive home with Jeff Black. On the weekends, catch the Crazy Kevin Show, Dennis Mitchell's Breakfast with the Beatles, the Semi-Pro Sports Show, and Racing Nation with James O'Shea, plus the music you grew up with. Keep your radio dial locked on Toowoomba's Power FM, celebrating 10 years. You'll find us at 88.0 on the FM dial or online at www.powerfmradio.com.au.
When the going gets tough, advertising is a must. Thousands of potential customers make buying decisions every day based on advertising they've seen or heard on radio and television. Are you losing sales because potential customers don't know what you offer? Get your business, product or service in front of thousands of potential customers with a joint advertising package on Power FM and PTV Channel O. Capture a multimedia audience with our affordable radio, TV media advertising package. Stay ahead of the pack by contacting Barry on 0431 390 920 or email feedback@ptvchannelo.com or Jeff at powerfmtoowoomba@gmail.com.
And welcome back. You're watching On the Spot, and I have Kent Reimers with me today. Kent is involved with the Darling Downs Bush Bash and works for Nestle. Kent, just tell me, we were talking before about your cricketing background. I see here that you studied horticulture. Nestle is quite a paradigm shift from horticulture. Tell us about that.
Well, to be honest, it's not quite a shift, Barry. Nestle or own Nescafe, which obviously they produce their own coffee beans and so forth. So I guess there's an element of horticulture involved, but I was never involved. No, out of school, I moved up to Rockhampton with my brother and studied horticulture at TAFE there. But one of those things you do out of school that it was just an opportunity to get me out of Toowoomba and see another part of the world, I think. Didn't go too well, and I didn't have a career in horticulture.
Okay. Now, I see you've also been a sign writer and you worked at the Indoor Cricket Centre. Was that here in Toowoomba?
Yeah, back in the days of Carl Rackerman's Indoor Sports Centre. Spent a good few years there, and we had a lot of fun there. It was a good way to learn about business and repeat business and how to look after your customers and things like that, as well as, you know, you get to develop some pretty close relationships with people that you spend a lot of time with. So, no, that was a great time in my life, to be honest. Right.
And I see, talking about great times, I see that you worked at Amart All Sports, and you said in here that it was your dream job. Why was that your dream job?
I was a sports mad kid, and to get to work at Amart, at that point in time, 15, 16 years old, every sports mad kid in town wanted to work at Amart All Sports. They had a pretty good reputation, and a lot of the sporting who's who of Toowoomba worked there. Guys like Brian May and from cricket, Neil Ward, the great touch footballer. It was really cool to spend time there and get a little education in the sales process, and you got to learn about sales targets and all that thing at quite a young age. So it was a good learning curve.
Yeah. I see that you would like to go back to England, and you want to take your wife and your dad down the Rhine.
Yep, 100%. So obviously I got a lot of lifelong friends in England from the two stints of cricket there, but all our family heritage is from Germany, North Germany, and we're not cruise people, but those
not many people are these days.
But no, I'd love to take my dad back there. He's just retired and got some time on his hands, and obviously I'd love to take my wife with us. So it'd be a wonderful trip.
Yeah, cool. All right, sounds good. I hope you get there. Now, Star Wars. You're a Star Wars fan, I hear.
Oh, I sure am, mate. I've loved it since I was a kid. Even to the point that some of the scenes in Empire Strikes Back gave me nightmares as a child. But I just love the whole concept of it and how over the years it's developed and faltered and offshoots have gone this way and that. I don't know why. I'm just into it. I'm not into any other sci-fi or anything like that, but I just love Star Wars.
Right. Star Wars was quite groundbreaking when it first came out. I remember seeing a documentary on the making of it at one stage, and the shot out in the snow in the original Star Wars movie where the hero opens
Luke.
up the whatever the animal is and gets inside. Yep. I believe it was the first time ever that a scene was filmed on a white background.
Oh. There you go. Yeah, well, it kind of makes sense. And if you do look closely enough, it looks a little artificial by today's standards. But when I think first Star Wars came out in 1980 or something like that.
Something like that. Yep.
I would have been 2 years old, so I don't remember when it first came out, but geez, I got into it.
Yeah. Well, some of those things like that, filming on a white background. I mean, normally you wouldn't film on a white background because there's too much reflection, and so you get shadowing and stuff. So that was quite groundbreaking for them to do that. Now, the next thing I want to ask you about is Nirvana Unplugged. Why have we got Nirvana Unplugged as your greatest single concert that you've ever seen?
Look, that particular concert was just groundbreaking for them. They generally didn't do acoustic work. What they did with songs like Man Who Sold the World, which I think was a David Bowie song, they just totally remade that song and turned it into something amazing. Not that it wasn't amazing already, but I think the concept of unplugged shows were fairly new back then as well. And in that entire concert, there's not a bad song. I can still sit there and listen to the entire thing from start to finish and appreciate every bit of it.
Right. Okay. That's good. I'm afraid my musical history goes back a bit further than that to the Beatles and some of those groups. So
you can't knock the Beatles though. I mean, it's all these bands from different eras. They were all groundbreaking in their own way and did some pretty spectacular things. So I'm a bit of a music nuffy. I just like good music. It doesn't matter what era it comes from. I just love listening to music.
Do you play yourself?
No, but my daughters are both quite musical. My oldest daughter is a bit of a weapon on the violin. She goes really well with that.
Right.
And my little one, she's just getting into the guitar. I posted a picture of her last night watching a Metallica concert,
Right.
Enter Sandman. They were playing a heavy metal song, and she was playing along on her guitar, which was pretty cool.
Right. And you play air guitar, do you?
Look, I taught her to play Enter Sandman. That's my only song that I know on the guitar.
Oh,
But,
right.
I think I did a pretty good job. She's good at it.
Oh, good. Oh, good. We'll have to have her on the show sometime doing a performance for us.
We'll get the older one on. She's pretty good on the violin. She's been very lucky. Her school teachers have, because both my wife and I aren't musical, they've recognised her musical talent and really put some effort into her.
Right. Okay. So what you're saying is that her musical talent is not inherited.
We don't know where it comes from. We really don't know.
Cool. All right. Now let's just go back for a minute before we finish this and talk a little bit more about the Darling Downs Bush Bash. When does the season actually kick off?
13th of September.
13th of September. Yep.
Yep, and runs through till 24th of October or something like that. The grand final is. They're all on Sundays. We have a little pause in the middle for when the representative cricketers go away. But round 1 at Captain Cook, round 2 down at Carl Park in Gatton, round 3 at Highfield Sports Park, round 4 at Toowoomba Grammar, and then the semi-final back at Gatton, and the grand final out at Highfield Sports Park again.
Right. Okay. And how can people get involved with it?
Oh, look, first and foremost, check us out on Facebook. We've got a fairly strong presence there.
What's the address on Facebook?
Darling Downs Bush Bash League.
So at Darling Downs Bush Bash League.
No, just on Facebook. Just search Darling Downs Bush Bash League.
Okay.
And then obviously you guys are live streaming everything, and
Yep.
that's really exciting that we've got you for every part of it. So captain's draft, players draft, and all the games. Well, not all the games, but all the rounds you'll be there.
Yep.
Last year was a pretty exciting thing when we got you on board, but I think this year we'll go to another level with the live streaming. So very excited about that, and hopefully COVID permitting. The crowds that we saw last year were beyond our expectation, and it would be fantastic to top that again. We've got some top class cricketers coming back. A lot of the Brisbane guys that played last year are coming back. We've even got a Queensland country player from Cairns willing to travel down and play. So,
is that right? Right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, but
Yes.
guys from Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, out west here,
Right.
the Valley, Warwick. There's just people coming from everywhere, which I think is what makes it such an exciting event. But
And nobody's coming from Victoria?
No, no, we'd probably have to draw the line there, Barry.
Oh, right.
But we'd love, even if you're not die-hard cricket people, I think there's enough entertainment. In September, October, it's getting warm. There's a bar and canteen, so bring the kids along and have a drink and sit around the boundary and see some pretty good quality cricket. And you might just get inspired to watch more of the game or get involved in some way.
Yeah, and that's a great facility at Highfields now, isn't it?
Sure is. Toowoomba Regional Council probably deserve a big thumbs up on that. I've asked them just to take the clubhouse facility and drop that out at Captain Cook, and it's just amazing what they've done out there.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time people like to dig the boot into the council and things like that, but in this case we've got to sit back and applaud, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's certainly a great facility to broadcast from, and plenty of opportunities for us. And this year, as you said, we will be stepping it up a bit. We'll have another camera out there this year for some instant replays from different angles and things. So yeah.
And I hear the commentary team is chock-a-block with talent again. I know that.
Yep.
Although Phil hasn't got his team this year, the the great man Phil Curry's going to get back in the commentary box, and Mark Alexander was there last year. I think Lincoln and Harrison Humphreys will do some more stuff. Brad Spenner, he's got a fair bit on with the Darling Downs under-16 team, but he loves telling a story, Brad. So I'm sure if he's got a spare spot, he'll jump in. So, mate, people just love being involved with your broadcast. It was pretty crazy last year, wasn't it? All the people that jumped on board with it, and there were some pretty funny moments.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and we even had some interest from some of the regular TV channels in using some of our footage. So
fantastic.
I think that will probably happen again this year.
You know, that's a big credit to everyone when you think about that, because regional networks don't have a lot of resource anymore, and it's harder for them to get out to games on weekends. And if people like you guys are willing to share and do, first of all, what you do for us, but then to help them out and share footage, I think is it's just wonderful for the game. And even though you're not a diehard cricket man yourself, but for you to support us the way you do with things like that is fantastic.
Yeah, well, it's actually been interesting, because I'm not really a sports person at all. My background is an academic background, and I've been much more involved with academia over the years in universities mostly, and not really had a lot of contact with sport. So it's been an interesting learning curve for me with our involvement with the Toowoomba Rugby League, which is continuing, despite the fact that we haven't had any games this year. And with COVID-19, we actually had to change what we did with our TRL footy show, because we weren't able to run that as a live footy show in the studio. So we started what was probably the very first footy show as a virtual show. And
nice.
And all of our participants come in virtually, like you have here. So for me, I had to learn all about football to start with, and then when you guys came along, mind you, I had been broadcasting cricket from the indoor sports centre here.
Right.
So I had been involved with indoor cricket, but didn't really have a lot of input into that. So the DDBBL was certainly an interesting learning curve for me.
Mate, we love having you guys on board. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time tonight. We will let people know the details of how they can get in touch with the DDBBL and how they can become involved, and we'll also give them some information about how to see the stream on our station. We interviewed you and some of the other team owners in at the radio station a little while ago. We'll repost some of those. Well, we'll repost all of those interviews again on Facebook in case people missed them, so that folk can get to see it. And we'll look forward to some really exciting stuff this year.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate everything you do for us.
No worries. Thanks very much, Kent. We'll catch up with you later.
Thanks, Barry.
You've been watching On the Spot, and today I've been talking to Kent Reimers. He is the coordinator of the Darling Downs Bush Bash, which, as he mentioned, is being live broadcast again this year by PTV Channel O. Now, if you want to get involved with the games from the DDBBL, the address, the Facebook address is on the screen now for you. Go and connect with them there. You'll also be able to see all of the streams on PTV Channel O, and it's www.ptvchannelo.com. and there's the address on the screen for you as well. And by the way, if you like to see any of last year's games, everything is on video on demand. So if you go down the left-hand side of the site, you'll be able to see the DDBBL there, and you'll be able to watch some of the games from last year. So maybe we'll give you a bit of a taster and whet your appetite a little bit. We'd love to see you at the games. But if you can't get to the games and you'd still like to watch them, they will be live on our website and also on the PTV Channel O app. This has been Barry for On the Spot. We'll see you again next time.